Hello programmer, I am Adi. In this video lecture, I am going to create a simple Spring JDBC applications and I will use the MVC design pattern for that. So let's start. So open the Eclipse IDE first and create a Maven project. Click on it. Okay, and select a create a simple project. Skip all type selections and click on next. In the group ID, we have to give the some package name. So I'm going to give the com.a programming .sms for student management system, and name of the project is student management. Click on finish. It will download the project from the Maven repository. The downloading is completed. So open the project and open the pom.xml file, and then add some dependencies. So open your browser and search Maven repository. Click the first link, mavenrepository.com. Here search the Spring core, search. Click on the Spring core and choose 5.3.2. okay, select this. It's already copied to the clipboard. Open your Eclipse IDE in the pom.xml, add one tag, dependencies, okay. Paste this file, okay. Control S for save, Control A, Control Shift F for format. Okay, now create some package for your project. But in between, first understand the flow of the project. So there are so many files available in the project. First one is I have to use the Spring configuration file. This one, which will annotate it with the @configuration annotation. You have to create one test file which contains the main method public static void main and one entity class, entity simple student class. Student, it's contain ID, name, course. This is our entity class, and create one service layer. Student service class. This is service layer. It will be annotated with the @service annotation, and this will call to the DAO, student DAO class. Inside the service class, I have to write the business logic, and then DAO will interact with the database. Database code means Spring JDBC code here. First main will be called to the service, and then service will call the Spring DAO. Open the Eclipse, create the project. Inside the src main Java, right click, new package. Package name is com.a programming pom.a programming.config. Here create one class also, new class student app config. Mark with the annotation at the configuration. So string will identify it's a configuration class. Hit Ctrl Shift O for the import. It's not importing. Maybe I have to add one more dependency. Let me open the pom.xml. Okay, Spring Core. I have to add one more dependency, Spring Context. So open your browser, search Spring Context, search. This one is Spring Context. Click on it. Open the 5.3.2. Same. It's already copied to the clipboard. Open your pom.xml. Inside the dependencies, paste this. Control A, Control Shift F for format. It's downloading some file. It's showing error because I have to import this. Now hit Control Shift O. It's import. org.springframework.context.annotation configuration. One more package I have to create. Entity, right click, new class. Sorry, not inside the config, inside the entity. And the class is student itself. Private integer ID, private string name, private string course. Alt Shift S, hit R for generate getter and setter. Select all, generate. Control A, Control Shift F for format. Generate one more. Alt Shift S, and then open. Generate the toString method also. Where is the toString? Okay. Select all, generate. Control A, Control Shift F, Control S, save. Create the student class object here. Public. This method will return the student object. Get student return the student object. New student. Control Shift of import. Mark is at bean annotation. Control Shift O. Give the name of the bean is student also. Student. Now it's fine. And again I have to create one service layer, new package, com.service, right click, new class. Name of the class is student service. Mark this with the @service annotation. Control Shift O for the import. Control Shift O. service annotation. Write one method, add of student, it will take a student object, and return type void. Control Shift O for importing the student. Write some business logic before saving the student into the database. So this layer, this is service layer, this will call to the DAO layer. So check this service layer, it has a @component annotations, means it indicate the annotation is service originally defined the domain design. Means if anything with has a @component annotation, Spring is responsible to create the object and it will store in the Spring context location. So no need to create this object by the new keyword student service object. Okay, create one more thing, one more class, which is DAO package. I have to write all this thing, all right click new package, a programming, DAO, hit enter, right click new class student DAO, mark with the repository, Control Shift O, add method public void add of student s, Control Shift O, write some database code to insert the student object. I'm not going to write, I will write in the next video. Some Spring JDBC code I have to write here, I will write in the next video. Everything is fine. @configurations, @service, it's also marking the components, means Spring is responsible to create the object of the student service and a student DAO also, because it also has a @component annotation. And create one more package test for testing our application, it's working or not. Create a package name is test, right click new class name is test, add the main method, finish, remove the comment, get the student object from the Spring container. So go write annotation config application context, annotation config application context, create this object, this will return context, context and pass this configuration class name here. Import the context also. What is that? Spring framework. Application context. This will return application context. Context is equal to annotation config application context, and pass the Spring configuration file name. This is student app config.java. Open, copy this, the class name, go to your test, paste dot class. This will read the student app config.class. Control Shift O for import. Okay, now get the student object from the Spring context location. So create a reference variable student. Student is equal to context get bean. Bean name is student dot class. Student class object I want. Hit semicolon. Add some value to the student. Student dot set ID of 1. Student dot set name something Amit. Student dot set course equal to Java. This record I have to save in the database. This object I have to send to the service layer, and service layer will perform some business operations. So I have to get service layer also, service object also. So get the service object, student service, student service equal to context dot get bean. Okay, context dot get bean. Remove this semicolon. Put student service dot class. It will return the student service object. Put some message, it will work fine or not. I know it will throw one exception. I will show you. Yeah, no Spring framework beans, no such bean definition exception. What's the reason? No qualified bean type. A programming service dot student service. I think a programming is a mistake. All over package same APROGR. Okay. No problem. In every classes the package name is same. But this is not a problem. The problem is Spring is not able to create the object of this service class. Why? What's the reason? I have already told, if I will annotate with @components, Spring is responsible to create the object. But Spring is not identify the class the location of the class where the class is available. That's why Spring is not able to create the object of this student service class. So I have to tell in the Spring configuration file where is the where the Spring service is available and where is the Spring DAO is available. So I have to add one more annotation here. Add component, cat component is scan. In the component is scan, I have to add which is the base package where Spring have to tell search for @component and @repository annotation base packages. Okay, and give the package name com.a programming. I found give only the base package name. It will search in all the sub package also. So string double quotes control S for save, go to the test and then run once again. Now it's working fine. So I have to send this student SVC to the add method, add student. This will perform some business operation. What happening? Why error is showing? Add student is student SVC service dot class add student. Okay, it's white, that's why it's showing error. So I have to send some, I have to call to the database layer from here. So for the database I have to create object. So student, I know already object is created, student DAO object is created in the memory, student DAO, so no need to create object, only I have to tell auto wire this object. Control Shift O, and by using the Spring student DAO dot call add student S. Now again run. The error is gone now. Student service will call to the student DAO and the student DAO will call to the Spring. And here we are printing something, student DAO. Delete. Student SVC add student of S. Sorry, student add of a student. Now run. Yeah, here we can see that a student is printing. ID is 1, name is Amit, get ID, get name, get ID, get name and get course and get class. From where it is printing, let me check the code. Oh, toString method has the same get name get course. To read this, again override this, Alt Shift S. Okay, toString method for ID name and course. Get ID get name I don't want. Okay, generate, that's fine. Okay, run the test. Okay, run once again. Yeah, student ID, student name and course. It's showing the working fine. It's calling to the student add service method, and service method is calling to the DAO method, and DAO method is printing.